now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, the Fiji Women's Crisis Center's coordinator Shamima Ali says law enforcement need to do more. The Fijian government has asked to continue to assist Vanuatu in the rehabilitation. And Resurrection Sunday ends with an Easter extravaganza. Good evening, I'm Akosita Tale and this is FBC News. Leading our news tonight, Fiji had to settle for third spot in the Tokyo Sevens tournament, beating Canada 21-19 in the third and fourth place playoff. The side was bundled out in the Cup semi-finals, losing to South Africa 7-5. The Osea Kolinisau-led side then had to stage a dramatic comeback to beat a determined Canadian outfit.
Jerry Tuai feeds and away he goes, away from the Canadian defence into the 22. This is textbook stuff from Jerry Tuai, where change of direction. That's good work by Canada. Kieran Hearn pins back his ears, away he goes. Hearn for the corner. Semi Kulatani driving forward there was Kieran Hearn. It's still on for Zaruba. 3-4 meters short of the Fijian try line. Moonlight reaching out. A typical try for John Moonlight. And Moonlight has a quick look. And the Fijians scrambling back there, but to no avail. Moonlight is in under the post. Will he, I wonder, be the saviour of Fiji here? Perhaps not. It might be Savanatha Rawatha. And away he goes. Rawatha draws a level. A simple conversion from inside to the post, and Fiji have come back from the death.
Meanwhile, England upset South Africa in the Cup final, winning 21-14. South Africa still leads the points table with 129, while Fiji remains in second on 125. New Zealand is in third with 120. A 34-year-old man of Ravi Ravimba is in police custody after he allegedly used benzene to set his 26-year-old wife on fire. Police spokesperson Anna Naisoro says the incident happened while the victim was shopping with a 3-year-old daughter at Bargain Box in Lautoka yesterday afternoon. The victim received 10% burns and is now admitted at the ICU ward at Lautoka Hospital. The suspect is in custody under investigation. The Fiji Women's Crisis Center's coordinator Shamima Ali says law enforcement need to do more. Ali is responding to the recent incidents of intimate partner violence in which one woman died and another was set alight by her husband, sustaining burns to her body. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Yesterday, it was a homicide in Turak Suva, a case of suspected domestic violence in the early hours of the morning that resulted in the death of 36-year-old Losana McGowan. On the same day, in the afternoon in Lautoka, a husband doused his 26-year-old wife with benzene in a shopping outlet and set her alight. For the Fiji Women's Crisis Centre, these cases are shocking and a stark reminder that more enforcement of the legislation is needed. I believe that a lot more needs to be done. The Crisis Centre, definitely we're doing whatever we need to look at some of the services, particularly law enforcement. We're having a lot of problems with police's response to violence, the social welfare and so on. While the Ministry of Women has got programs in place, a lot more needs to be done. Ali says while the legislation is strong, there are a number of examples where enforcement agencies are ineffective. When a woman does not report these cases, domestic violence is not a one-off. The kind of instances we have had, it's prolonged domestic violence women experience, and when they seek redress, often they're turned away, or the responses are very, very bad. And for example, the domestic violence restraining order. These are such a good thing that could prevent women from getting further brutalized and so on. But law enforcement agencies, namely the police, they do not know what it is about or choose to send women away or charge them for giving them wrong information. adding that in the case of McGowan, who had worked and supported the NGO and other NGOs in their fight against gender violence, her death is a double tragedy. What a wasted life. You know, there is no excuse for young women. They must seek help. They know where the crisis center is, the branches are, they know where to go, and they must seek when things like this happen. Women must seek help, and help is available. No one listens to you, come to the crisis center. We will do our best. But do not keep quiet. These men are not worth it. They can be murderers. If they have to slap you once, they're going to continue doing that. In both cases, the suspected assailants remain in police custody while investigations continue. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Fijian government has received a formal request from the Vanuatu government to extend their rehabilitation mission in the wake of tropical cyclone Pam. Contingent leader Manasa Tangitakimbau has confirmed to FBC News while an extension has been requested, the actual duration of their continued stay is still being discussed. Saveira Tambua reports.
The mission for the Fijian contingent, including military and medical personnel, to assist Vanuatu in their rebuild was to have ended today, and the team expected to be back in the country tomorrow. However, contingent team leader Manasa Tangitakimbau says Vanuatu has requested that they stay and continue to help.
I had talks from our minister and from secretary that we will be here for a bit longer. This afternoon I should be receiving official notification from Fiji on that extension and how long we'll be here in Vanuatu continuing this work. That is the from Vanuatu government themselves. Yeah.
Tangitakimbau says the Fijian medical team has conducted 6 surgeries in the last 5 days on Tanna Island and delivered 11 babies, in which one of them was named after 3 of the medical officers, namely Samuel Kini Lovumbalapu, adding that more than 300 people were attended to by medical officers in the outpatient department.
And most of referral cases into Port Vila being referred to from the island of Tanna. So our medical team were deployed there on the request of the Vanuatu NDMO and the Vanuatu government, and also the Ministry of Health here in Vanuatu, together with the health cluster. They were sent in because most of the health teams that have gone into Vanuatu were pulling out after 4 or 3 days on the island. But now our medical team is there, and they are doing a great work in terms of medical and health deliveries.
Meanwhile, the Fijian Engineering Corps has completed construction on some of the schools on Tanna, which will resume classes tomorrow, while others await more material. Saveira Tambua, FBC News.
Around 17 groups from different church denominations in the Greater Suva area gathered at Ratu Sukuna Park this afternoon to celebrate Easter Sunday in a musical and dance extravaganza. FBC News joined the Easter musical celebration today with a march from the flea market to Ratu Sukuna Park. Gospel songs fill the main street of the capital this afternoon as different walks of life from various Christian denominations walk together as one to celebrate Easter Sunday. Organized by the Fiji Council of Churches and the Ecumenical Center for Research, Education and Advocacy, ECRIA, today's theme reflected on freedom through Christ.
The Fiji Council of Churches and ECRIA have taken on very vocally the issue of the human rights abuses in West Papua. And so the theme, Freedom Through Christ, is part of our celebration of the liberation that Christ offers and the call for Christians around the world to work for the liberation of those who are oppressed.
Today's concert witnessed different denominations coming together to perform songs, skits, dances and to have fellowship with each other.
We as Christians, especially the young Christians in the 21st century, live as Christians in an increasingly secular age, in an age where there are vast discrepancies and disproportions between the haves and the have-nots, where on one hand we celebrate elections and democracy and human rights here in Fiji to a certain extent, but our brothers and sisters in West Papua are suffering and being killed on a regular basis.
We're here today as members of all different denominations to celebrate resurrection together, and especially you see that there are a lot of youths out here, so these youths are the leaders of tomorrow, so it's very important that they're here in numbers.
This event is mainly about Jesus, and as you can see, only through Jesus can different denominations come together, and it's only through Jesus.
Seeing young people getting involved in the march and as well as the concert is very powerful. The young people nowadays are taken for granted, but them participating is the most powerful of all in this time of Easter.
It's basically because it's a resurrection day, and that's why we're celebrating it. That's why it's important too for all the Christian denominations.
Reverend Bhagwan says that despite many churches setting different programs for Easter, they hope to make the event an annual one and open to all.
The onus is now on us as churches, different denominations, to come together and celebrate our unity. This is the time of the year when we celebrate that unity. We all worship, we all give thanks for God's love and His sacrifice through His Son Jesus Christ.
The concert included guest speakers and performers from various youth groups and churches. Coming up after the break, insurance sector benefits from consecutive economic growth.
Great words there from Lucky Dube and Baban. I hope you enjoyed that number. Different colors just for you on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Louise with you on the Center Show. Well, thank you so much for the sweet company. This is Alana Miles, one of my favorites, and Black Velvet for you. Hi there. Join me on the Center Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Given Fiji's consecutive economic growth, the insurance industry has also benefited. This positive effect has trickled over for the Life Insurance Corporation of India, or LICI, who's had a successful financial year for 2014. Ritika Pratap reports.
The Fijian economy is set to record a third consecutive year of economic growth in excess of 4%. The benefits of this has been felt far and wide. For one insurance company, this has meant more for their bottom line.
It is beneficial in the sense that when people have got more disposable income, they would think about taking an insurance policy. So if there is a growth in the economy and there is increase in the wages, and also there are more people who are joining the employment, they are getting employment, larger numbers of people. So once the different institutions and different companies are recruiting more and more people, definitely our number of policyholders goes up.
Vimlesh Dhar says because of this growth in business, they have more premium income coming in.
Our renewal premium has increased. Our investment income, which we have already invested over the years, that investment income has added to it. So all the three factors, our new business premium, our renewal premium, our investment income, it all generates assets for us, and that is how in the last 4 years they have doubled.
LICI for this year will be looking at inclusive insurance by bringing in small ticket group insurance policies and reaching out to remote corners of Fiji. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Last month, FBC News reported how 70-year-old Krishna Kumari, who saved $1 a day for the past 30 years, was able to move into a new home. Kumari's story has certainly raised many people's curiosity. Savera Tambua went along to meet and find out more about this remarkable woman.
The 70-year-old, who is originally from Nabua, has no immediate family members and has lived on the streets most of her life. Kumari was a familiar sight at this busy intersection opposite the EV tree in Suva. She was at the Pacific Community Office when this interview was conducted.
If I said 20 past before I got the power, and between 20,000 20 rotis, it comes profit $10. That is your profit, and then the other $10 you use for another. For the next day preparing flour and the vegetable and the meat prepare for the next day.
Kumari speaks very little about her childhood. She recollects attending a primary school until year 8, and that's about all. Kumari approached PCN when she heard about the housing project.
And when she came along to see Samiti, our director, she brought along a bag that was full of all the receipts that she had she'd kept all the receipts over the years. And finally, by this stage, she had about 19,000, I think, in her account. But just little bit by little bit, $2 here, whatever she could. But over the years, all those years, it's nearly 40 years, that she's been saving a little bit.
Kumari has no plans to return to begging. As far as she is concerned, her house has been paid off and she can now do other things.
Not really, yes. Not really, because I know I've got money, I am paid to the house, but not really, but inside I know I got the money. Just nothing to do. Now I got the house, I'll sit down in the house and do little work.
After years of sleeping wherever she could find shelter, including the police cell, she now has a brand new 2-bedroom house. From nowhere to home, it will take some time for her to adjust and settle in. PCN Chairman Father Ba says Kumari's new home has already been christened, with government providing some furniture.
I was talking to the other ministers who were there, including the Honourable Rosie Akbar, and telling them her story. So after the opening, the minister came along and said to me that, because I mentioned to her that she had no furniture.
Reminiscing, Kumari told us it's been a long journey, but one worth taking.
In Suva, plenty places I stayed, plenty. I did plenty work, sell the vegetable, sell the bara, bhajia. Plenty I stayed in the hot house, move away from there.
Kumari is an example of just how successful the ideology is if you just save $1 a day. So the next time you're considering buying something you probably don't need, consider saving that money, and if you do it often enough, you could be a homeowner. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Fiji lose to South Africa in epic semi-final clash. And Western United arrives for OFC Champions League.
बॉलीवुड हीरो पंती रे. Get this.
हीरो सपना दिखेला बंद करो.
क्या करूं यार, सबको आती नहीं, मेरी जाती नहीं.
मिर्ची मस्त मॉर्निंग में हूँ अश्निल सिंह.
हाय, मैं हूँ काजल.
शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
6 AM to 9 AM.
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
Welcome back. This is FBC Sports. Fiji was bundled out of the Cup semi-finals in a thrilling encounter against South Africa. The Ben Ryan coach side tried hard but were denied by handling errors and tenacious defense from the series leaders.
Meters, says Anthony Moyes. Quickly taken, or is it? Yes, it is. Michael in the south. Finding Veramalua. This is the breakthrough. Just to Veramalua. It's there for Thagul. It's been called for on the narrow side by Quagga Smith. All hands for the Papilla. Terrific try.
They kept their heads.
And this for the lead. There it is. The flag is in the air. Usemi Kunatani. The offload to Samasoni Viribiri, looking back inside. And South Africa look to hold him up. But the Fijian has done remarkably well to go to ground, and that is it. The South Africans are celebrating.
Earlier in the day, Josiah Raisunge was the hero for the national side, scoring 4 tries in Fiji's 41-5 victory over Japan in the quarterfinal. Fiji crossed Japan's try line 7 times to progress through to the semi-finals.
with ball in hand for the first time, and it was Kotoninbao, Kolinisau, and this could well be a stroll in the park for the Fijians. The opening score, so easy for the Fijians. Chasing Yoshikazu Fujita. Referee Ruiz is quite happy, and the ball again finds its way out, this time once more. Japan, high hopes for him at the Rugby World Cup in England, but looking for a hat-trick here is Josiah Raisungi. A hat-trick for the Fijian number 8 in the Cup here in Tokyo. Then they are well on their way to Rio in 2016, well on his way to the try line. Here, how the first try came about, quick transfers through the hands. Tungiri does well, and sees the ball fall into the hands of that man, Samisoni Viri Viri, the long-striding Samisoni Viri Viri. Kwazuru. Guadamalua to Raisungi, a hat-trick in the first half. It's 4 up for Raisungi. Next month. Oh, good power, good pace. Good strike here by Samanaga Rawatha.
The Western United football side is ready to cause havoc in the Fiji Airways OFC Champions League. The team from Solomon Islands has roped in several high-profile players to boost its campaign against the best teams in the Pacific. Chalendo Dakadaka reports.
The Western United team arrived into the country last night with a mission to win the OFC Champions League crown. Goal-scoring machine Benjamin Totori will lead the team, having featured for Waitakere United in last year's tournament.
We've got a good team with us, but despite we've a bit, injuries as well, but the physio is working hard on it, and we're getting there, and we're going to use this week as a prepare for the first game.
This is Western United's first appearance in the tournament, and with a pool that includes defending champions Auckland City, Suva and Amical, the side is in for a tough run.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough run for us, but we're prepared, it's football, anything can happen, and we have most experienced players in our team too.
Totori will be ably supported by several key players such as James Naka and Belgian import John Agbo. Western United will take on Amical in its first pool match next Saturday at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Chalendo Dakavak, FBC Sports.
Athletics Fiji is sending 2 national squad members to the United States to train and compete in preparation for the Pacific Games. Triple jump specialist Eugene Volma and Milika Tuivanovo will be training under the guidance of U.S. coach J.T. Tiersen for 3 weeks. Both athletes are gold medal prospects for the Pacific Games in July.
They'll be training under their coach, the U.S. coach, who they were under when they were at the Fresno State University. They'll be there for 3 weeks competing in the Pomona Pizza Invitational, the Mount Sac Relays, and the Azusa Pacific Invitational track meets. And this is in fact a really good build-up, because the caliber of those events, I've competed in those events itself, and that's where you get the U.S. national athletes actually run in those events.
New Caledonian club SSI became the first overseas side to win the National Easter basketball title. The side staged a late comeback to beat Boston White 22-18 in an epic final. This is the second year in a row that SSI competed in the tournament. Dynamic Reds took out the women's title after beating Chosen 24-22 in the final. Generally overcast conditions with some showers was experienced over the northern and eastern parts of the group. Fine weather with afternoon or evening showers prevailed elsewhere. Temperatures today continued in the low 30s with a high of 33 posting in the burning west, Lautoka and Ba with a low of 29 degrees recorded in Lambasa. Tomorrow expect fine weather with cloudy periods in the morning with fine and isolated showers in the afternoon across the island. Further outlook, southwest winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas, moderate southerly swells. And recapping the main stories, the Fiji Women's Crisis Center's coordinator Shamima Ali says law enforcement need to be more The Fijian government has asked to continue to assist Vanuatu in their rehabilitation, and Resurrection Sunday ends with an Easter extravaganza. Now to our poll question this week, we ask, are you satisfied with the services of your municipal councils? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenscience@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from FBC News for tonight. Join us again at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Nimo Demanda.